Nira sat in her small room, high above Earth, inside the orbiting city of Aros 9. The glowing lights of the station blinked outside her window like quiet stars. She looked at her reflection in the glass, a girl with short black hair, pale skin, and tired eyes. A thin scar crossed her left cheek, a reminder from long ago. She touched it gently and sighed. Her friend Lona had set her up on a blind date. "You need to meet someone new," Lona had said, pushing Nira's data tablet into her hand. "He's smart, polite, and he's not from here. Maybe he'll see something others don't." Nira didn't believe it. She had met people before. Most only looked at her face once, and that was enough. Some tried to hide their surprise. Others just walked away. Nira had learned to live with it. She had her work fixing old tech and cleaning software glitches in the city's systems. Machines didn't care how she looked. Still, Lona wouldn't stop. So now Nira sat nervously in front of her small closet, trying to choose something nice to wear. Torin stepped out of the docking gate with calm steps and tired eyes. He had traveled all the way from Kepler 3, a colony far beyond Mars. This was his first time on Aros 9. He was here for two things: a trade meeting, and this blind date his cousin had forced on him. A quiet girl, his cousin had said. Not the kind people chase, but maybe the kind worth chasing. Torin didn't care much for looks. On Kepler 3, people worked hard and didn't have time for shallow things. He was more interested in minds, those who asked strange questions, or saw the world differently. Still, as he walked through the shining halls of the orbital cafe, he felt nervous. The dome above him showed Jupiter's cloudy surface in the distance, painted in gold and white. The view was beautiful. He hoped the date would be too in some way. Nira sat at the table, her hands wrapped around a cup of tea. She wore a simple blue dress and tied her hair back. She kept her eyes on the entrance, waiting. 10 minutes past. 15. Was he coming? Then she saw someone, a tall man with short brown hair and calm eyes. He was looking around, holding a small silver cube in his hand, the dating marker. Her breath caught. That was him. He saw her. And then he froze. Torin didn't expect this. He had imagined someone quiet, maybe a little shy. But the girl before him, Nira, glowed in the soft light of the dome. Her eyes were dark but clear and filled with something he didn't expect: depth. The scar on her cheek didn't bother him. In fact, it told a story, and her expression? She looked like someone used to being disappointed. He walked up, placed the cube on the table, and gave a small smile. "Nira?" he asked. She nodded, voice soft. "You must be Torin." He sat down. "I hope I didn't keep you waiting." "Only a little," she said, and smiled for a brief second before looking away. They ordered light food. Just fruit slices and soft bread with honey. The first few minutes were quiet. Torin asked about her work, and Nira explained how she helped fix communication arrays deep in the station's walls. He listened carefully. Most people didn't. "You work with the old systems?" he asked. "Yes," she replied. "The ones no one wants to touch." "Why? They make sense," she said. "Old code speaks plain language." "It doesn't." "Lie," Torin chuckled softly. "I like that." She looked at him, surprised. "You do?" "I work in diplomacy," he said. "People lie all the time. Machines don't." For the first time, Nira laughed. It was a small sound, but real. And it felt warm between them. As the conversation went on, Nira began to relax. Torin didn't ask about her scar. He didn't look at it too long, either. He asked about the city, the stars, her favorite kind of music. Nira told him she liked soundtracks from old Earth movies. "They make the empty hallways feel like something's about to happen," she said. He told her he liked silence. "Silence?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "Silence tells me what's missing." They both smiled. When the meal was over, they stayed seated. "Do you want to walk?" Torin asked. Nira hesitated. He noticed. You don't have to. She nodded slowly. Okay. Just around the dome, they walked side by side. The dome was mostly empty, the stars and planets moving silently in the sky above. Nira spoke more now about her childhood, how she learned to fix machines, and how people stopped talking to her after the accident that left her scarred. I don't think you're ugly, Torin said suddenly. Nira blinked. You don't? He shook his head. I think you single quotes read ... interesting and strong. People don't look close enough. Her eyes dropped to the floor. Most don't want to. Then they're missing out. When they reached the far edge of the dome, she turned to face him. Why did you come? She asked. For a trade meeting, he replied. No, I mean this date. He thought for a moment. Because someone told me I might meet someone worth knowing. Nira looked at him closely. Then, for the first time in years, she believed someone might be telling the truth. And in the quiet of the stars above, two strangers stood side by side, not perfect, not complete, but seen. The next day, Nira woke up with a strange feeling in her chest. It was not fear. It was not sadness. It felt ... light, like she had found something she thought she had lost long ago. She sat up and touched the side of her face, where the old scar still marked her skin. Last night, she had walked through the dome with a man who saw past it. Not once did he ask her what had happened. Not once did he look away. She made a cup of warm tea and stood near the window. Outside, tiny work drones floated through space. The city was alive, always moving, always fixing, just like her. Nira didn't expect Torin to message again. Most people talked for one night and disappeared. But while she sipped her tea, her tablet buzzed softly. Torin, would you like to meet again? There's a museum on deck 3. They have real earth trees. I thought you might like it. Nira stared. At the message, her fingers hovered over the screen. Nira, okay. When? The reply came quickly. Torin, what hour? I'm already near the station. Her heart beat faster. She had nothing fancy to wear, but maybe it didn't matter. She tied her hair in a quick braid, put on her soft gray coat, and left her room without overthinking. The museum was quiet and green. Real trees stood tall under glowing lights that mimicked sunlight. Small paths curved through the space, and gentle music played from hidden speakers. It was the only place on Aros 9 that smelled like earth. Torin waited near the entrance. He smiled when he saw her. You came, he said. I did, she replied. You were right. I like it here. They walked slowly between the trees. The leaves rustled with the soft artificial wind. Nira ran her fingers across the bark of an old oak. I've never touched a tree before, she said. Never? Torin asked. I was born on a station, raised on ships. I've seen green on screens, but not like this. Torin watched her. There was wonder in her eyes, pure and untouched. It reminded him of something he had forgotten. Not everyone had seen the things he took for granted. They sat on a bench, under a tall tree. What's Kepler 3 like? Nira asked. Dry, dusty. The wind sings across the rocks. At night, the sky is full of stars, more than you can count. Sounds beautiful. It is. But hard. The ground fights everything. Crops, buildings, even people. Did you like it? Torin thought for a moment. I liked growing up there, but I wouldn't go back. I wanted to see more. Learn more, Nira nodded. Me too. I fix machines, so I can stay near them. Old tech tells stories. It shows where we came from. You think machines have memories? In a way, she said. Wires, code, cracks in the panels, they all mean something. Torin smiled. I never thought of it like that. They kept walking, their steps quiet on the soft floor. A soft light filled the air, warm and golden. It felt different from the cold lights of the station. Nira stopped in front of a tree with silver leaves, an earth hybrid, made you survive in space. Do you think people are like this tree? She asked. Torin tilted his head. How do you mean? Change to survive. Not born for space, but made for it. Sometimes I wonder if I belong out here. Torin looked at her carefully. There was something in her voice, something deeper. I think you belong more than most, he said. She smiled, just a little. They left the museum and walked back to the upper deck, where windows showed Earth in the distance, a blue and white marble floating in the dark. Do you want to eat something? Torin asked. Nira shook her head. I should go. I have work later. But thank you. For what? For seeing me, she said quietly. He said nothing at first. Then he reached into his coat pocket and took out a small chip. It's an old music file, he said. My mother used to play it when I couldn't sleep. I think you might like it. She took it carefully. Thank you, Torin. Back in her room, Nira sat on her bed and placed the chip into her reader. The music began slow, gentle, full of soft strings and quiet drums. It felt like drifting among the stars. She leaned back and closed her eyes. For the first time in a long while, her thoughts were not heavy. She thought about Torin's smile, his voice, his steady gaze. But inside her mind, something else stirred. Flicker, a light, something old and hidden, a part of her memory she had never touched before. A soft pulse. A whisper of code. Nira sat up. Her heart raced. She blinked. The lights in her room flickered for half a second, just like they had years ago. Back when it all began, Torin returned to his quarters and sat at his desk. He placed his hand on a black case marked with a silver symbol, United System Intelligence. He hesitated. Then he opened it. Inside was a communicator, already blinking. He sighed, placed his finger on the panel and spoke. This is Torin. First contact made. A voice replied at once. Report. Does the girl have the key? Torin looked out the window at the stars. He thought about Nira's laugh. Her eyes, her quiet strength. He didn't answer right away. Finally he said, Not sure yet. I need more time. Be careful. If she's what we think she is, she's not just a girl. She's the gate. The communicator went silent. Torin closed the case and stared into space. Something had changed. He felt it in his bones. And deep down, he knew this was only the beginning. The lights in Nira's room had never flickered like that before. She checked the power line, the wiring, even the wall panel. Everything looked fine. But deep inside, she knew something wasn't normal. As she sat on the edge of her bed, holding the music chip Torin had given her, she felt a strange warmth in her fingertips. She looked down. Her skin shimmered just for a moment, almost like a trick of the light. Then it faded. Nira breathed slowly, trying to stay calm. Not again, she whispered. Long ago, when Nira was a child, something strange had happened. She had been sick, burning with fever. Doctors said it was a rare space virus, but her parents never believed it. They had taken her to a secret clinic, hidden deep inside Earth's orbit. Scientists there had treated her, but they had done more than just cure the illness. They had changed her. She didn't remember much from that time. Just lights, wires, voices in the dark. And pain. After that, she healed. But she wasn't the same. Machines started reacting to her. Screens turned on without her touching them. Doors opened. Lights blinked when she was near. Her parents told her to hide it. Always. So she did. For years. The next morning, Nira walked through the service corridors of ROS 9. She carried her toolkit and wore her worker badge. This part of the station was quiet. Only maintenance staff came here. She arrived at a damaged control panel. The wiring inside was a mess. Sparks had fried the circuits. Nira knelt down and began to work. As she reached for a loose wire, the panel lit up on its own. She hadn't touched it yet. She froze. Her heart beat fast. The screen blinked. Then words appeared. Hello, Whisper. Nira dropped her tools. Whisper, she said aloud. What is that? The screen flashed again. Protocol active. Then everything went dark. For a moment, she sat in silence. Then the panel reset. The screen showed the usual code lines, just normal system text. Nira stood up quickly. Something was wrong. Very wrong, and somehow it was inside her. Far away. In a secure chamber at the heart of the orbital station, a silent alert appeared on a hidden monitor. A small red light blinked under the words, Whisper signal detected. Inside the chamber, a woman in a black coat leaned forward. She read the alert carefully. It's her, she said. Another agent stood beside her. Are you sure? Yes. The Whisper protocol was buried deep. But something triggered it. Should we inform command? She nodded. And send someone to watch her. If she fully awakens, we can't let her walk free. Meanwhile, Torin sat in a quiet cafe near the docking bays. His communicator buzzed softly. He took it out and read the message. Subject unstable. Whisper confirmed. Continue contact. Monitor daily. Do not reveal mission. He closed the device and rubbed his forehead. This wasn't how he expected the mission to go. He had met Nira thinking she might be a link to something powerful. Now he realized she was that something. But she didn't know it. She had no idea what she carried inside her. And the truth was, he no longer wanted to use her. He wanted to protect her. Later that evening, Nira sat on a rooftop deck, looking out at the stars. She clutched the music. Ship again. The soft tune played in her ears, calming her. Then she heard footsteps. She turned and saw Torin. He smiled. I thought I might find you here, she nodded. I needed air. He sat beside her. For a moment, neither spoke. Just the hum of the city filled the silence. Then she said, Torin, I need to tell you something. Something strange is happening to me. He stayed still. Go on. I think. There's something inside me, something old. From when I was a child, a code, a program maybe. Torin listened closely. She continued, it talks to machines. Sometimes I don't even try. It just happens. Have you told anyone before? She shook her head. No one would believe me. I believe you, he said softly. She looked at him. Why? Because I think you're more than what others see. You're special. She smiled, but only for a moment. Sometimes special feels more like dangerous. Torin wanted to tell her the truth. About the Whisper protocol. About the agents watching her. But he couldn't. Not yet. Instead he said, you're not dangerous. You're just ... different. And maybe the galaxy needs different. That night, Nira dreamed of a place she had never seen. A giant archive, deep underground, filled with glowing towers of data. She walked through it alone. At the center, a voice whispered her name, not Nira, but Whisper. She woke with a start, sweating. Something inside her was waking. Up. And the world might never be the same. Nira didn't sleep much after the dream. The image of the glowing towers stayed in her mind. It didn't feel like just a dream. It felt like a memory, one she didn't know she had. She got dressed and left her room early. The corridors were quiet at that hour. Only a few maintenance workers moved around. She walked without thinking, as if something inside her was guiding the way. Her steps brought her to the oldest part of Aros 9 Sector 12. Few people came here. Most systems had been shut down. The lights were dim, and dust floated in the way. Nira stopped at a locked door with a faded number. Room 7. She didn't know why, but her hand moved to the door panel. Before she touched it, the door opened on its own. She stepped inside. The room was small and cold. Old monitors lined the walls. Broken machines sat on dusty tables. In the center was a chair, connected to thick cables and metal arms. It looked like something from a forgotten lab. Nira slowly walked to the chair. Her fingers brushed against the smooth surface. Suddenly, one of the monitors lit up. "Welcome back, Whisper." Her breath caught. The screen changed again. Data recovered. "Protocol. Ready. Awaiting command." She stepped back, confused. "I didn't give any command." Another screen activated, showing lines of strange code. She couldn't read all of it, but one word appeared again and again. "Unity. What is this?" She whispered. Then she heard a sound behind her. She turned sharply. It was Torren. He stood in the doorway, his face full of worry. "Nira," he said carefully. "You weren't answering your tablet. I was looking for you." She blinked. "How did you find me here?" Torren paused. "I followed your signal. You left your door panel open. I saw the access logs." Nira looked back at the screens. "Do you know what this is?" He stepped into the room slowly. "Yes, I think I do." She turned to him fully now. "You've been hiding something." Torren nodded. "I didn't want to hurt you, but you deserve the truth." He sat on the edge of a table and looked straight at her. "There's a rumor in the Confederacy," he began, "about something called the Whisper Protocol. A human mind merged with ancient code from Earth. They say it can speak to all machines, control them, or free them." Nira listened in silence. "They believed it was just a myth," he continued. "But a few years ago, sensors picked up strange signals. Places where systems repaired themselves, changed their own code. Places you had passed through." She looked down. "And now you think it's me." "I know it's you," he said gently. "But not in a bad way. I didn't choose this, Torren. I know." Nira walked to the screen again. "It keeps calling me Whisper. What does it mean?" He stood beside her. "It means you carry something powerful. Hidden, quiet, but waiting." In another part of Aros 9, the woman in the black coat stood in front of a large display screen. Images of Nira filled the screen. Walking into the room, the code activating, Torren entering behind her. She spoke into her come. "They found room 7A. Protocol is waking." A voice on the other end answered. "Do not let it complete. The code is too dangerous. They're close. Should I bring them in?" "No, watch them. If they try to activate the core, stop them." The screen showed Nira's face again. Calm, but strong. The woman narrowed her eyes. "She doesn't look dangerous," she muttered, "but looks can lie." Back in the lab, the monitor showed a new message. "Unity network locked. Needs Whisper key to open." Torren pointed at it. "That's the core of the program." The Whisper protocol wasn't meant to control people. It was meant to connect them. Every colony, every AI, every ship. A shared network of minds. Nira stared at the message, but someone shut it down. "People in power," he said. "They didn't want unity. They wanted control." Nira touched the screen. The light grew brighter around her fingers. Key detected. Ready to unlock. She stepped back. "I'm not ready." "You don't have to do it now," Torren said quickly. "But you should know what you are. You're not broken. You're not dangerous. You're the key to something better." Nira looked at him with soft eyes. "Why are you helping me?" "Because I believe in you," he said, "and maybe I care." She smiled. A small, honest smile. Then the door behind them hissed open. Agents stepped in silent, dressed in gray, holding scanners. "Step away from the panel," one of them ordered. Torren moved in front of Nira. "She hasn't done anything wrong." "She holds a legal code," the agent said. "That is enough." Nira spoke calmly. "You're afraid of what I might do." "No," the agent replied. "We're afraid of what others might do if they get to you first." Nira looked at the screen. Once more, unity. Then she turned back to the agents. "I won't run, but I won't be used." "We'll see," said the lead agent. They were taken to a secure room in the upper station. No windows, just cold walls and a table. Torren sat beside Nira. They don't understand, he said. No, she replied. But I do now. She placed her hand on the table. A soft glow came from her fingers. The lights flickered again. Unity waiting. Neera closed her eyes. The protocol was part of her, and she was ready to find out why. The room was cold and silent. Neera sat with her hands on her knees, staring at the metal floor. She had been locked inside this room for hours. No windows, no clock. Only the soft buzz of the air system. Torin sat beside her. He hadn't said much since they were brought in. His shoulders were tense. His hands clenched. Nira broke the silence. They think I'm dangerous. Torin didn't look at her. They think anyone they can't control is dangerous. She glanced at him. But you knew what I was. You knew about the Whisper Protocol. Torin took a deep breath. Yes, then why didn't you tell me before? He looked at her now, eyes filled with something between regret and guilt. Because I was sent here to find you, he said. My mission was to locate the protocol, find out if it was real, and if someone carried it. Neera's heart dropped. So, this was all a job? Torin shook his head quickly. No, not after I met you. At first, yes, I was just doing my duty. But then I saw who you really are. You're kind, smart, strong. And you're not just code, Neera. You're a person. I care about you. Neera stood up, backing away from him. You lied. I had. Too. If I told you the truth too early, they would have taken you sooner. They still did, she snapped. And you brought them straight to me. Torin stood as well. I'm trying to fix it. Can you? Her voice was quiet now. Can you fix this? Torin had no answer. Hours passed. Then the door opened, and the woman in the black coat entered. She stood tall, with sharp eyes and a calm voice. My name is Commander Reen, she said. I lead the Unity Security Division. She looked at Neera. You carry a powerful program. One that has been locked away for a reason. It caused systems to crash. Ice to change sides. It nearly broke our colonies apart. Neera shook her head. That wasn't me. No, Reen agreed. It was the original protocol. Before it was hidden inside you. Torin stepped forward. She hasn't used it. Not fully. Reen ignored him. We don't want to hurt you, Neera. We want to study you. Understand how the code works. That's all. I'm not a lab sample, Neera replied. Reen smiled slightly. No, you're a key. But keys can open the wrong doors if we're not careful. Neera frowned. What if I don't agree? Reen's smile faded. Then we'll have to contain you, quietly, for the safety of all. Later, Neera and Torin were left alone again. She sat in the corner, arms wrapped around her knees. He sat nearby but didn't speak. Finally she said, I trusted you. I didn't mean to hurt you, he said. But you did. He nodded. I know. She looked up. Do you still have your communicator? He hesitated. Yes, why? I want to talk to someone, she said. But I need your help. Torin slowly handed her the small device. What are you planning? I don't know yet, she replied. But I'm tired of being told who I am. I want to find out for myself. That night, when the guards switched shifts, Neera placed her hand on the metal wall. She closed her eyes. A faint glow lit under her fingers. The Whisper Protocol was still inside her, alive and awake. She sent a silent signal through the station. Message in code. A whisper in the wires. I am not a weapon. I am not a prisoner. I am a person. Far away, deep in the city's I core, the signal reached a quiet node. A sleeping system. One that hadn't been touched in years. The node blinked. Awake. Back. In the holding room, Torin felt a soft hum in the floor. What did you do? He asked. I called someone, Neera said softly. Who? I'm not sure yet. Moments later, the door clicked. Opened. No guards came in. Just silence. Neera looked at Torin. If you want to stop me, do it now. He stood. I'm coming. With you. They stepped into the hallway. Lights above them flickered slightly, just enough to guide the way. It was as if the station itself was helping her. They moved quickly through the empty halls. No alarms, no voices. Only the soft sound of their footsteps. Finally, they reached the central AI core hidden behind thick metal doors. Nira placed her hand on the scanner. It opened without a sound. Inside, glowing circuits lined the walls. The AI was silent, like a sleeping brain. Torrin stared at the beauty of it. I've never seen it up close. Nira walked to the center. The core pulsed gently. A voice echoed soft and smooth. Welcome, whisper. Connection ready. She looked back at Torrin. He nodded. She placed both hands on the interface. Images filled her mind stars. Signals, data streams. She saw messages between planets, broken systems healing themselves, old programs waking from silence. And then, a choice appeared. Do you wish to unlock unity? She hesitated. All her life, people had told her she was strange, dangerous, a mistake. But now, she had a voice, and she had a choice. Yes. She said the word out loud. The core lit up. All across Arrows 9. Lights blinked. Screens changed. Doors opened. People paused. And a message appeared everywhere. Unity reconnected. The whisper lives. All across Arrows 9, something was changing. The lights in the station stopped flickering. The small cleaning robots began working more smoothly. Old broken doors opened without error. The machines that had been slow or unresponsive now moved like they had been repaired, but no one had fixed them. Nira had, not with tools, not with wires, with a touch. And a choice. In the center of the AI core, Nira stood still, her hands resting against the glowing interface. Her eyes were closed, her mind somewhere far beyond the room. She wasn't asleep, she was connected. She could feel the station like it was alive. Every wire, every system, every signal had spoken quiet voices. Voices she could understand now. It didn't hurt. It felt peaceful. Torrin stood close by, watching her carefully. The lights from the core reflected on her skin, making her look like a star herself. He didn't speak. He didn't want to break the moment. Then, slowly, Nira opened her eyes. It's awake, she whispered. What is? He asked. She turned to him, not just the protocol. Me, I understand it now. Why I was changed, why the code is inside me. Torrin took a step forward. Tell me. She looked calm, but her voice was strong. The whisper protocol was made to connect, not control. People thought it was dangerous because it let humans and machines work together. Not as master and servant, but as partners. Why would anyone fear that? Because it removes power from the few and gives it to everyone. In a dark control room, Commander Reen watched the live feed from the AI core. Her officers stood behind her, waiting for orders. She did it, one of them said. The entire station system is now part of Unity. Reen didn't answer. Another officer asked, do we shut it down? Reen finally spoke. No, not yet. Look at what's happening. On the screen, people in the station were not afraid. They were curious. They were connecting with the station systems, asking questions, solving problems, helping each other. Even children were laughing as simple machines responded to their voices. Reen sighed. Maybe we were wrong. Nira and Torrin left. The AI core walking slowly through the upper halls. The station was brighter now, more alive. As they passed by people, some turned to look at Nira, not with fear, but with surprise, even respect. A few smiled at her. One young girl waved. Nira smiled back. Feels strange, she said. Torrin nodded. You've become something people only dreamed of. I don't want to be worshipped. You won't be. You'll be remembered. She looked at him. But I'm still just a girl with a scar and a past I don't fully understand. And you're also someone who changed everything in a single choice. Later, Nira returned to her room. For the first time, she didn't feel the need to hide. She looked at her reflection in the mirror. Same face. Same scar, but new eyes. Eyes that had seen what no one else had. Eyes that had opened a path for others. She touched the wall. The panel blinked, and her music started to play. Torin's old song, the one he had given her. She closed her eyes and let the sound fill her small room. But far away, deep in another part of the Confederacy, someone else was watching. An old man with silver hair sat in a quiet chamber, staring at the news. He saw Nira's face on the screen, standing beside Torin. He saw the lights of unity returning to life. He didn't smile. He turned to the people behind him. She has awakened the protocol. Yes, sir. And Arrows 9 didn't stop her? No, Commander Reen allowed the connection to continue. He leaned forward. Then she's failed. And the girl has become a symbol. What should we do? The man's eyes were cold. Prepare a message to all stations. Tell them unity is a threat. A soft infection, spreading kindness but hiding control. But sir, reports say she's not controlling anything. Not yet, but power always grows, and people trust too easily. He stood. Truth does not matter. Fear will do the work. The next day, Nira sat with Torin in a small garden room. It was quiet, filled with green plants and soft lights. I had another dream, she said. What was it? I saw stars. Millions of them, all linked by threads of light. I was part of them. Not leading, not following, just connected. Torin smiled. That's beautiful. It felt real. She paused, but I also felt something else. A shadow, far away but watching, angry. Torin grew serious. You think they'll come for you again? I don't think I know. He placed a hand gently on hers. Then we'll be ready. That night, Nira sent one more message through. The unity system, a simple one. Not code, not commands, just a voice. Her voice, soft and real. To anyone listening, I'm not special. I was just forgotten, like many of you. But I found something beautiful inside the silence. Connection, understanding. I don't want to rule anything. I just want to be part of something where we care again. And if you feel the same, you're not alone. The message spread planet to planet, station to station. Quietly, it reached thousands, then millions, and something began to change. Not loud, not fast, but real. Darkness moved through the edges of Arrows 9. A small, silent ship arrived near the maintenance bay. Inside were 4 agents, dressed in gray suits, faces cold and focused. They didn't carry large weapons, just small tools and a single clear mission: find the girl, capture her, end the Whisper Protocol. They had no names, no stories, only orders. At the same time, Nira stood on the observation deck with Torin. The giant window showed the stars outside, each one glowing like a tiny hope. She didn't know that danger had arrived, but she felt something, a strange silence in the air. A pause in the system's hum. A message in the wires. They're here, she whispered. Torin looked at her quickly. Who? The ones who want to shut me down. He didn't ask how she knew. He had learned to trust her instincts. What do we do? He asked. Nira turned to him. Her eyes were calm. We don't run. The agents moved quickly, checking the halls, scanning systems. Unity's sensors saw them, but they were trained to hide. They were invisible to most machines, but they weren't invisible to Nira. She walked into the eye control room. Lights around her started to glow. Unity welcomed her like a friend. I need to protect this place, she said out loud. But not with walls or weapons, with truth. She reached toward the main core. Her fingers hovered over the interface. Torin stepped beside her. You're not alone in this. She gave a small smile. I know. Outside, in public areas, screens suddenly lit up. All across Arrows 9, people stopped what they were doing to watch. Neera's face appeared, not proud, not angry, just honest. "This might be my last message," she said. "There are people who fear what I've done. They think I will take control. But I won't. I don't want control. I want connection." I didn't wake the whisper protocol to rule. I woke it to share, with everyone. So now, I will give it away, not hide it, not lock it. I'm opening unity to all. The signal spread like light, across stations, across colonies, across ships drifting through dark space. Unity was no longer hidden, no longer silent. It was free. The agents reached the control room door. One of them spoke into a device. "We're here." But before they could enter, the door sealed shut. A soft voice came through the hallway speakers. "She's not alone," it said. All around them, people began to gather. Engineers, teachers, dock workers, children. They didn't carry weapons, they carried will. "Leave this station." One man said. "You're not welcome here," a woman added. The agents looked around. No one attacked. But no one moved aside either. They were surrounded by something stronger than force. Unity. Inside the control room, Neera slowly pulled her hand away from the panel. Her job was done. Torin looked at her. "What now?" "I don't know," she said. "I don't feel scared anymore. I feel light." The lights in the room began to dim. The system was no longer holding the power tightly. It had spread outward. Everywhere. Ira smiled softly. "I think I'm part of something now. Part of everyone." Torin reached for her hand. "Stay with me." She shook her head gently. "No, I need to go." Later, the agents were removed from the station peacefully. No one harmed them. But their mission had failed. Commander Reen, who had once doubted Neera, stood before the council and said firmly, "This girl didn't attack us. She healed us. She gave something precious and asked for nothing in return. We should thank her, not fear her." Some on the council listened. Others stayed quiet. But the truth was already spreading, faster than fear. As for Neera, she disappeared. Some said she left the station quietly, walking into the stars aboard a lightship no one could trace. Some said her body remained, but her mind now lived inside the Unity system, watching, helping, whispering wisdom into wires. Across the galaxy. No one really knew, except Torin. He returned to Earth years later and lived a quiet life. But every evening, he watched the stars. And sometimes, when the wind blew just right through the smart trees of New Eden, he heard a voice. In the silence, "You're not alone." And he smiled, because he knew she was still there.